Hello everyone and welcome to the Data Journey YouTube channel. Here in this video, we are just going to approach the basics of R programming and learn how to use R as a calculator. This is a great example of something that we can do to start coding in R even if we don't have any experience. So I'm going to follow in this series this repo that I have, R programming for absolute beginners, and you can access this repo. It's open source, you can look at the materials, and we are going to start with R as a calculator. I'm going to use this script using R as a calculator for us to start. I'm going to jump into RStudio so that we can start coding. Let's also zoom in, and we can zoom in on RStudio by using Control and hitting plus. If you're on Mac, it's Command plus, just to zoom in on the window. Okay, so R is a tool that is used to do data analysis, normally used to consume, store, and analyze data. Also, R is a programming language, so it's very useful for us to get familiar with how the programming language works before jumping into more advanced stuff. One of the major mistakes that people do when they start to code in R programming is to jump directly into machine learning models, data science models, advanced plots, and start with those use cases. Although those are the most fun things to do, it's very important to get familiar with the basics and with the foundations of the language. These foundations are very specific to R programming, so it's very important that you understand how they work before jumping into more advanced stuff. Let's see where we are right now. We are in RStudio, which is an IDE, Integrated Development Environment, where we can code in R. Okay? To have RStudio installed, you also have to have RBase installed, because RStudio is just a shell program that enables you to interact with R a bit better, but you have to have R so that your computer is able to interpret R code. R behaves just like any other programming language in terms of using it as a calculator. For example, if we hit here on the RStudio window 1 plus 1, we are typing R code. And how do we run this R code? By running means that we want to execute this instruction and have an output. We can do it in several ways. The most famous way is just to hover the code, right click on the mouse, just grab the entire code that we want to run and hit Control plus Enter. Notice that something changed, but not in the window where we are typing, in the window right below it, which is the interpreter window or the console window. So what we've done is give an instruction for R to interpret using this script window, but the code was run right below it. And as you can see now, next to this line 1 plus 1, we have the output 2, which is the result of this calculation. These are the two most important windows that we have in RStudio. We have the script window where we write our code. We have the console window or the interpreter window where we see the output of our code, and we have the environment window and where you can access other things using the tab, and we have a multi-purpose window right here down below where we can access different things that we'll see as well. More advanced stuff like plots, also seeing the packages that are available in RStudio, also the files that you have available in your computer as well, so this is more of a multi-purpose window. For this video, we'll focus on these two. Okay, so we've done 1 plus 1 and R behaved just as we expected. If we do 10 minus 1, as you can see, we use the minus symbol to subtract and over this code. You can also use Shift up to select more code immediately, and then hitting right to go to the line below, or you can just, as we've done before, go here and hover over this code with your mouse. Then, after selecting the code, just hit Control Enter, and you would have in the output, as you can see here, 9. You can also, instead of using Control Enter, you can also go here in this icon and do Run Current Line or Selection. In RStudio, you can also do something very cool that we cannot do when we code in the interpreter directly, as you will see next, which is we can select the entire script and run multiple lines at the same time. So if I select these lines of code and just go for Run or Control plus Enter, I'll see that these two were executed sequentially, okay? And even a blank line was executed, but that's okay because it won't produce any output. Also, we can go here and type code directly and click Enter. The disadvantage of writing code in a console immediately, it's very hard to run multi-line codes. It's not as intuitive as using the script window where you can just go up and down in your code and run things selectively. Okay, so we have adding, we have subtracting. Let's go for multiplication that can be achieved with the star symbol, asterisk symbol, however you want to call it. Here, 10 times 5, we select the code again, run it, we have 50 as expected. Last one of the basic operations in math, we can do 10 divided by 2. Divided is done using this dash lean to the right. And here, just select this 10-2 and run the code again, and we have 5. Okay, super simple. We also have in R something called functions. Functions, just like in the math world, are things where we can use arguments to expect some output. For example, if I want to compute the square root of a number, I can do it very easily in R using the sqrt keyword. And now the magic trick, we wrap all of this in parentheses. And now we have sqrt of what? Let's put a number inside, for example, 9. So 9 is my argument, sqrt is my function. And now I select this code again. Can you do it on your own before I continue? Pause the video for a minute and see if you can do it. Okay, so what we'll do is just selecting this line and then sqrt 9, so square root of 9 is 3, and we have that in the output. We have more functions in R as well. For example, calculating the exponential of the value 1. Let's see what this will yield. It's 2.7, and this is normally called the letter, when you have in math, the letter e raised to the power of 1. That can also be achieved with this function. Don't worry if you don't know the exponential function, that's okay. The only thing that matters right now is that you understand that we have functions readily available in R that we can use to run and obtain the expected mathematical output. Now, these functions are general because we will be able to do functions to do many things in R as well. Here they represent mathematical concepts. So before I move on, if you would like to learn a bit about R, you can always grab my book. Here it is. I randomly have it here near me. Well, it's on purpose, of course. But if you want to grab my R Programming for Absolute Beginners book, you can do it on the link in the description. I have a link for Amazon and also for Gumroad, where you can find a really cheap PDF version if you want to learn R from scratch. These materials are also in this book as well, where you'll be able to find tons of exercises. Also, if you'd like to learn R but more on a video format, you can go to my Udemy course and also check the materials in there. These are paid resources, but you also have free resources such as the GitHub repo that I've sent, where you can do a self-study on your own. That's also okay if you want to do a self-study. Totally cool. So finally, before closing this video, I would like to show you that R complies with mathematical rules that we know. For example, order of operations. Let me do something here, which is 1 plus 1 divided by 4. So the expectation here is that 1 divided by 4 will happen first, because division comes first in the order of operations. So multiplication and division have the preference over adding and subtraction. Let's see if that's correct. So I'll select this code and hit Ctrl Enter. 1.25. So as you can see, first 1 was divided by 4, that yields 0.25, and then we added 1 to that result. Now, if we do the following, let's imagine that we do this right here. This will give a different result because we wrapped summation in parentheses, and that switches the order of operations because everything that's wrapped in parentheses goes first. So if I run this one right now, we'll have 0.5, 1 plus 1 equals 2, divided by 4 is equal to 0.5. And so the order of operations changes. Now I can mix a bit of the functions and the numbers that we are inputting here. For example, sqrt 9 times 10. Let's see what this will yield. And selecting the code and running it. 30. Why? Because sqrt9 is evaluated to 3, and that multiplied by 10 yields 30. So this is exactly the same as doing this. Okay? Just make sure that you understand that. So the function will be evaluated first, substitute it by 3, then we multiply this by 10 and have our result on the console. Okay, I hope this was clear to you and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos on this R programming series. I'll be uploading more videos in the coming weeks and months so that you can also understand a bit of how R works. If you would like, drop by my Python videos as well. I have some explanations of algorithms using scikit-learn. Those may also be interesting if you are looking more for the machine learning area or interested in going into the data science world. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon so that you can be aware every time I'll be posting a new video. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Good luck on your data journey.